So Ecamm is recording, and then that's our camera right there.
Yo.
All right, so here's what you know. What? Look, I gotta hold these weird bougie pillows for this interview, which is just strange, but it's just,
What you doing, dog?
I don't know. My hands always want to like hold the pillow. It's super crazy. Anyway, like since I've been doing this,
I'll hold a pillow with you if it makes you feel better.
Man, listen. Okay, I'll put it right here just for protection from you. Hey, since I've been doing this series, I got questions. Brandon and I have been together like four times. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to record. It never happens. We get clowning, talking about something else, whatever. But we're at Creator Cam now. And so we get an opportunity to do this.
Let's do it.
So in this series, I always start out with the first question is the same. And then we just kind of chat from there.
Okay.
So the first question is, what does being a creator today mean to you?
Ooh. I should have did my homework. I think being a creator means being flexible.
Oh.
I think as a creator, you have to juggle a lot. You have to be a graphic designer. You got to be a cinematographer. You got to be an editor. You got to be a musician at times. Now it means you also probably have to be an AI prompt engineer. But I think you also have to be flexible because as, consumers' attention changes, as content patterns change, as the algorithms, as they say, change, platforms change, you also got to be flexible and be willing to, adapt as the industry keeps moving. So I think as a creator, the biggest asset you can have is just being flexible. So that way you can move as needed based off of how the industry keeps changing.
I like that. I used to tell my students, be Gumby, damn it. Because people get really, really upset. Like when the whole TikTok thing was tripping, was it like a year and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
People were like, oh, my whole livelihood is gone, whatever. And first of all, there was kind of an over panic mode. And guess what? Nothing really happened. But then second of all, people legit thought they were going to lose their whole thing. And it's like, you are always on rented ground with these platforms, right?
Yep.
You're borrowing their space, their servers, whatever. So yeah, the platforms can go away. But if you plan that flexibility into your setup, you can just, as we used to say, make moves.
Yeah, but I think you got to give yourself a little bit of grace.
Grace, that's my word.
At the beginning of I don't think I'm on YouTube. I have pretty much gone all in with YouTube. I don't think YouTube's going to go anywhere. I have strong opinions that it won't go anywhere.
So do I.
But that doesn't mean that their chance isn't there. And so, doing things like building an email list or building your own community and stuff like that can be definitely helpful. But give yourself the grace if you aren't there yet. Just know what the outcomes could be. And then as you have the time, the resources, try to start building a plan just in case, build that safety net as you can. But give yourself a little bit of grace to know that you're not going to have it all at the beginning. It takes time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's a lot of conversation around how easy it is to be a creator nowadays. And while I agree with that, I think that those of us who say that are messing people up because we're not setting them up for the amount of work that goes into being a creator. So how do you balance all of the tools and everything that do make it easier, but then stay on top of the work?
Ooh, so I don't know if I fully agree with that either. I don't know if it's easier to be a creator now. I think there are more, I think with everything, as it may be easier now to be a creator, but that ease, the tools that you're talking about, also bring in more competition. Because if it's easier for you, it's easier for others. So then at the same time, it can also be more difficult to be a creator today because there's just more people who are in it. So then you got to really figure out how to stand out. But when it comes to how do I, with all the overwhelming amount of tools that are available to you today, I honestly say just try to keep it simple. I find a few tools that work really well for me. And even to Doc's point, Doc knows this, when I have something that's working, I'm going to stick with it. Even if there's a better option out there, I'm going to stick with it until what I'm working with isn't working. And then I go look for a better option. And I don't know if I can tell this story.
I'm gonna make you snitch. How long did it take you to get on Ecamm, Brandon? How long was I harassing you to switch?
I mean, the first time you told me about Ecamm was like a year before I even started live streaming. And then when I did, I started on StreamYard and I was there for 6 months. And the truth was is that at that time, for me, I was still just figuring out what live streaming meant. So to try to go learn a whole nother tool after learning StreamYard was kind of overwhelming. Like I didn't even know if I wanted to really live stream like that. I was still trying to figure out what it meant to live stream for Brandon.
Yeah.
Once I figured out what it meant for me, then I started looking at quality. Okay, how do I make my streams higher quality? And that's where I realized that StreamYard was letting me down and that I needed something of higher quality, which is ultimately then why I chose to go to Ecamm. I'm not saying that Ecamm wouldn't have been better for me from Jump Street, but at the time, for where I was, giving myself grace, I didn't know what my show was. I didn't know what my online persona was while I was live. I didn't know how I was going to run graphics or music. And so all these things that Ecamm would have unlocked for me, it could have overwhelmed me at that moment and I could have stopped live streaming. But once I figured out what live streaming meant to me, and then it was like, all right, now we're going to tackle quality. That's when I looked for a better tool. And ultimately I ended on Ecamm. So
all right, I'm gonna let you slide.
that's my honest like look,
no, but it makes
Ecamm
sense.
is better, but you just like if you're just getting started, it's like I tell people, if you're just getting started making videos, it might be better to start with an iPhone. And I know the iPhone shooting is not sexy. You want to get a real camera, but the truth is that when you get a real camera, it adds a bunch of extra complicated steps to it. Even at the basic level, you got to get a memory card. How do you get the files off the memory card? Now you got to bring it onto your computer. Now you got to edit it. But if you start with your phone, you can shoot on the phone, you can edit on the phone, you can publish directly from the phone. So you can at least see if you like making videos before you start investing in all this other stuff. And once you realize, okay, I do like this thing, then you can start investing in upgrading your quality. And then that becomes a journey over time of like, okay, I want to improve this. I want to improve that. I want to improve this. And then you go down the rabbit hole. But when you're just starting out, figure out the basics that at least just let you practice and see if it's something that you want to invest, years, months, and thousands of dollars into. And then you go to work.
So true. And the iPhone is so amazing now. Android even, like the S23, S24, actually I think S25 right now. Like they're all really legit. And it's funny because people like to get in these weird camps. And I'm like, yo, they kind of all get there.
Yeah.
Like that person with the Ford Focus, they're uncomfortable. They hear everything. They feel every bump in the road. But they get to the grocery store the same way I get their small flex in my Beamer. But I just don't feel the bumps.
Subtle flex.
And it was a small flex. And my stereo, I got the Beamer mostly because it come with a kick-ass stereo. Like, I don't want to do work.
Yeah.
When I used to build my cars, like I would buy a Honda Civic Basic and turn that into like 400 or 500 horsepower Screamer. I don't want to do that mess no more. I'm old. I want to buy 400 or 500 horsepower from the gate.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is finding personal things that will make your experience better. And I think that's the exact same thing that happens in all creative journeys. Like when you pick your camera, or you pick your lighting, or you pick your lenses, like a lot of the things that you're picking are based off of your personal like experience and like what you want to get out of the gear. But a lot of times if you just start buying gear, you don't know what you're trying to solve yet. So you could buy the gear preemptively, uncover new problems, and then have to rebuy gear all over again. So if you can like take your time and like go through the journey of discovering all your problems without spending a bunch of money, and then you'll know exactly what type of camera, what type of lens, what type of lights, you'll figure out what you want to do because, I mean, on the basic level, like, do you need a wide lens? Do you need a telephoto lens? Like, do you want the camera on the desk? Do you want it across the room? Those are all questions you can figure out with your phone.
And based on your situation, it's funny because like a lot of our contemporaries, yourself included, we make videos about new cameras and new features and stuff like that. And people get really wrapped in the features. And maybe the biggest mistake a lot of people make. And now that it's becoming more, the Wikipedia word, disambiguated, now we're getting people say like, man, why you gotta do that? I went to Cali, it's cool. Listen, Notre Dame, don't make me do you bad.
It's okay, anyway, I'm dyslexic.
So even somebody like Patrick, who's, starting to make content and whatever, he was like, well, I met these two filmmaker dudes at, the Ecamm Creator Camp, and so they must know the right cameras. But I'm gonna say a Sony thing the way I'm gonna say it. You're gonna say a Canon thing the way you say it. And those are personal preferences.
Mhm.
And to be straight, no cap, the reason why I'm probably hardcore Sony, I was a Sony broadcast professional dealer for 20 years. So I just know the company. I know people at the company.
Okay.
There's a level of familiarity and comfort there.
Yeah.
Will that mean anything locked off on a tripod in the studio? Probably not. Locked
Right.
off in a tripod in the studio, this OBS, that iPhone, the Leica can't even get in the video mix at this point, but it can.
What are you talking about? My
it
camera
do-
can take a video.
It does, but not in the same way. But you know what I'm saying? I think we get caught up listening to YouTubers and we haven't figured out our own situation. And going back to what you said about, I need to know how the live streaming was going to make sense to Brandon.
Yeah, but keep listening to me. I'm on YouTube. I'm one of those YouTubers. You can keep watching my
and
videos.
then buy the stuff from our affiliate
and then
links
use my
after we tell
affiliate link.
you, right?
Yeah. So
But no,
I'm
really,
the one YouTuber you should listen
if
to.
you have opportunity to rent, I would say do that. And I am lucky that one of my best friends in the planet is the owner of Pro Camera Hawaii. So like today, he just got in that new Sigma, what is it, 400 to 600?
The 300 to 600?
300 to 600. Soon as I get home,
Bro.
hey, Tony, I'm going out to shoot, the Blue Angels this weekend. Let me snap that, right? And I'll play with it. And then I'll be like, oh, you know what? I kind of got some jobs I can get to work this. And then now what you saying, Hawaii is a mad volleyball state. Oh, I'm going to get that from Tony because it's for Sony.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the volleyball tournament and just be in the cut like, hey, you want to buy some pictures of your kid?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is brilliant. And I love the idea that, to me, being a creator is experimenting.
Yeah.
And some of the things that you're thinking of to hone your skills, keep you learning, keep you so you don't become stagnant, and then get a chance to check out some equipment. People, don't be afraid to rent because you might find, you know what? I hadn't touched Fuji forever. I always thought it was too much knobs and stuff, too old school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the X105. I was hooked.
Yeah.
I had my camera for all of 2 months before the X106 came out. I bought 2 X106 day one. And then I was like, if this is this cool, what happens if you start changing lenses? So then I went to like the X5, whatever, so I could change lenses.
Yeah.
And now what I want to buy like a GFX. Because now here's what's crazy. So I get that far down the Fuji chain, and I'm like, wait a minute. If you're going to spend this much money on the Fuji, maybe you should like stick your toe in the Leica pool. I took about 10 pictures with the Leica. All right, Fuji, it was nice dating you. But now I'm saving coin to basically get what you got because it's a different feel. I'm not going to use it for my content creation stuff. It's for my personal.
Yeah.
But my feelings with me touching that Leica was the same feelings with me buying my first Beamer. It was a poster on my wall when a little kid. I went to Japan. I didn't drive for like a year. And when I came home, I was like, I got to get to work now. I'm not doing my street racing thing anymore. Let me just get a car that I will not want to mess with.
But again, you got it for you. You know,
for me,
correct.
I'm not trying to chase
there was an
Joneses.
it was an internal desire. That's what you wanted to go with. And like, I think that's what it really comes down to. It's like, you know, what gear is going to allow you to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. But in my opinion, this is maybe not the most like, this might be controversial to say, it might be my hot take.
You say something not controversial?
But like, I think you should be allowed to buy cameras just because you like the camera and you want the camera. Like, I think you should be able to do that. You know, people buy dumber stuff. They buy
that sentence with "Hey Karen."
Like, I mean, I really do. I think you should be allowed to buy a camera just because you like it. People buy cars just because they like it. People buy purses just because they like them. And like, people buy shoes just because they like them. And if you like cameras and a camera's gonna inspire you to go out and take more photos with it, and you just want it, then hell, just go buy it. And if anybody asks you any questions about it, be like, it's my money.
Yeah. Man, the amount of the way that people invented camera wars, the way we had like Xbox and PlayStation and like, you know, Raiders and Patriots.
Fun, bro. What are you talking about?
I know it's fun, but it's kind of funny.
It's so much fun.
Because you do kind of like stick with familiarity, right? You know, like, and if you said something funny the other day that had me dying. You said you went to some place and the dude was like, oh, it's a barbecue. And it's like, well, what kind of sauce do you want? And then after text it, he's like, what you need sauce for?
Okay, yeah. So context. So I'm from Houston, Texas. And so Texas, home of barbecue. And I was in San Francisco. And somebody was like, "Oh, you must love barbecue because you're from Texas. We got to take you to this barbecue joint." And we got there, and they were like, "All right, now here's all the sauces." And like that was the whole deal. Was their whole place was built around picking the right sauce for the barbecue. And I was like, good barbecue don't need no sauce, but sure. And sure enough, it tasted like
Like you
what
needed
I would have
sauce.
thought San Francisco barbecue would have tasted like.
Yo,
So,
I
but
was stationed in Texas, so I know this is true. And sorry, being the ADHD Virgo, things must stand corrected. West Africa is the home of barbecue. Texas stole it and called it what they called it.
I don't do enough history. I like my barbecue.
All
So
right. I'm sticking
not
up for you, Kofi, just in case you see this.
Oh, if Kofi gets it, then no, we're not gonna give him any credit. I don't want to give Kofi any
We don't want to
credit.
give Uncle Kofi no credit.
Yeah.
Your
Your boy.
Your boy. So, all right. So going back to the whole creator thing, I hate those things about like, if you was you, like when you was 20, what would you do? It doesn't work because we're in a different space. However, if you were going to start the creator game right now, be Dub 2.0, what would like your key piece of advice be?
So that's a really hard one.
You notice I do this in my question.
Yeah, you do.
I know what I'm
you have
doing.
some really good questions.
I'm
so,
a professional interviewer, son.
So here's what I would say. If you're starting today, be a generalist, don't be a specialist. As a creator, I think you are better off today having general knowledge over a few different elements than being completely specialized in just one area. Just because, as I said, to start this whole deal, like as a creator, you just have to wear too many hats. And so if you spend too much time in one area, you're gonna expose too many opportunities in others. So it's better to have a general understanding of a few things. But also, I believe in being, this is something I'm working out, okay? So don't judge me here.
No judgment.
But I think it is better to be a smart, dumb person than a smart person.
Thanks.
And the reason why I say that is when you are a smart, dumb person, you can make smart decisions, but you allow yourself the freedom of being dumb to where you don't know the wrong things to do. So you just keep doing things and you become smart by doing them. So many people are super smart, but they're so smart about being smart that they will look at all the things that could go wrong or that they shouldn't do, or that this is the right way, but I can't do it that way. So I'm going to wait till I can do it that way because that's the smart way. But allow yourself to be dumb and go after things and try things and make mistakes, but be smart enough to learn from the dumb experiences that you're having. So that way you can continue to move forward, because I have seen it multiple times. I will never say that I am the best podcaster. I am definitely not the best cinematographer. I'm constantly learning. I'm definitely not a great editor. That's why I hire editors. Thank God for AI, or else my thumbnails would be even worse than they currently are. Like all these things, but I've become a generalist in all these different areas. But I allowed myself to be dumb about AI. And so I just went into it blindly. I was like, I'm going to be dumb, but I'm going to figure this thing out. But I was smart about the lessons I learned about it. I wasn't afraid to be dumb doing it. I've even gone live trying to figure out image generation live and being very dumb. And people just being like, why didn't you just read the instruction manual? And I'm like, because that would have been a smart thing to do. And I don't do smart things. So I just allow myself to be dumb and try to experience new things. So it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not be the smartest person trying to achieve the thing you're trying to achieve. In fact, you're better off probably not being a super, super smart person, because you'll be so smart that you'll talk yourself out of doing things. So allow yourself to be dumb. Go enjoy the process, because you'll be a lot smarter being dumb than you will be just being a smart person sitting on the sidelines.
Man, you know what? My dad used to say that to me all the time. And even when I was working at Apple, Steve used to say that. Steve was like, I'm smart at this. I hire people smarter than me, which is how Apple like dug itself out of the hole to becoming like one of the biggest giants in the planet. And I really do believe like successful CEOs, successful businessmen, they get that. And this business is no different than any other business.
Correct.
So you're on point with that. But if I look at my clients and stuff, some of the things that hang them up the most is they got all these degrees on the wall. And they're like, how come I can't do this? And I'm like, well, because you're an MBA or you're like a top level CPA. That has nothing to do with you know how to do this.
Right.
Right. So it's okay that you're done with this. I bring my tax to you, dog. I ain't trying to do that mess. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Once H&R Block, you can't do H&R Block no more. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go see my man John because John is sick with it. You
Yeah.
know? And like I knew I was in the right spot because homie has like an OG abacus in this place. I'm like, yeah, if you could do math with one of those, you know what you're doing. And it's really like it's better to stay curious,
Yes.
right? And I love the fact that you say be willing to make those mistakes. People's pride, yo, be blocking them. And some people got such good stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Such good
100%.
stories to tell.
Yeah.
In our fake live studio audience, my man Patrick over here has some stories for me just like yesterday and today. I'm like, yo, this could be like a whole TV show. I could do a whole documentary on my man Patrick over here. And I was like, yo, I love collecting stories, which is why I do this, right? And, you know, we're friends and we get to talk a lot, but like even in this environment, I still knew stuff about you as the way you explain your approach. And I've seen you do the approach.
Yeah.
But it's different to hear the explanation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love that. I love that concept. All right. Last thing.
Okay.
Favorite tool of the moment. Mine's gonna blow your mind. It's nothing you would ever expect.
I mean, I feel so basic saying what my favorite tool is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess like the tool that unlocks the world for me right now is ChatGPT. It's such a basic answer, so I hate that I'm giving that to you. I'm gonna try to think of a better one while I explain it. But let me at least let me give you some grace for why it's the best tool for me. Because I think the way I use it will help other people.
Thanks.
So I am dyslexic. I also have ADHD. Those two things don't help because when you're trying to focus on reading and writing, but you also have ADHD, it makes it even harder. And so for me, I've always felt a disconnect from the rest of the world because of the issues that I have through reading and writing. I can try to read something, but I don't understand it. Or I have a vision and I try to write it out for other people to get, but it doesn't translate right. And so they don't understand what I'm trying to put out there.
Yeah.
ChatGPT solved that for me at a crazy level because it has the ability to, you can talk to it. And I'm very good with like being able to express myself through words if I can speak them. And so the way that I use ChatGPT is as my key or my doorway to everything else. When I say everything, I mean everything. I mean sending emails, writing blog posts, updating websites, coming up with titles, writing descriptions. But we always talk about how AI is, you know, this like ever evolving thing and it can be very difficult or whatever. And I also learned that a lot of AI is based around prompts. Prompts are inherently written. And so what I do is I will literally hop into ChatGPT and say, hey, look, I'm trying to create an image in Midjourney. I need help doing this. And so I will talk through my prompt. I will talk through all the things that I know. I'll say, I want a image that is shot with an anamorphic lens, 50 millimeter. I want to have shallow depth of field. I would need it to have oval bokeh. All these terms that I know how to say, but don't ask me how to spell anamorphic. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it. It'll just embarrass the both of us.
ANAMORPHIC.
So here's the deal. By being able to speak through ChatGPT and it then is able to help me create these prompts, I can then interact with the rest of AI.
Yeah.
So where like language and text and written was like a barrier for me, ChatGPT's kind of opened that up for me. And so that's the tool that has helped me the most. But what I tell most people is to find the tool that takes your biggest insecurity or the thing that you find is your biggest struggle and pillar your task around that tool and really get good at it because it will unlock, everything else that you can do. So that's the tool that I probably interact with the most. It's the one AI tool that I never stop paying for. Some of them I'll like sign up for a month and then cancel.
Yeah.
Like based off my needs. ChatGPT is just one of the ones that I know that I can at least interact with on a regular basis. It's on my phone. I can talk to it. I can ideate with it.
Yo, chat on voice mode while you're driving.
Oh, dude.
Yo, you know how much like I feel bad for Kendrick because I was giving him mad spins, and then voice mode came out. I'm like, sorry, Ken. Me and what her name is, Monday, not my Juniper. You know the
Juniper?
girl version on there, and she kind of sounds like an LA girl.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
so
think that's the same voice I
me
use.
and Junebug, we have full conversations about the craziest things. But what's cool? So mine was going to be, I'm like you. I love reading, but I can't. It's not, I don't have dyslexia, but I do have ADHD. And what ADHD people do is when they read, they hear their own voice, and that messes you up because you lose your place. Because we will sidetrack in the middle of reading a line, and we got to go back. So it take me like a week to read something that, like, I watch other people. Oh, I finished the book in 3 days. I'd be like, this? And they go, yeah, you lying. But back in like 2002, I signed up for Audible.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put myself on because my mentor, crazy story, I met a dude in the bar at the W in Palm Springs. And we were just talking. We sitting down. He's like, yo, let me catch you a drink. He was like an OG. He used to tell I was ex-military, He was like, if you could have anything in the world you want, since you're an entrepreneur, what would it be? My dumb self said, I would love to have a millionaire who could be my mentor and just help me make mistakes. I don't want no money from him. I just need to be able to call somebody, ask him questions. I want to learn from him so I can kind of copy, but then do my own thing. I'm too hard-headed to have him tell me what to do. And he goes, well, the first mistake is you're stupid. And I was like, why? He goes, why didn't you ask for a billionaire? Didn't think about that. Okay, I changed the billionaire. And he was like, bet, my name is Bill Bartman, my mentor, billionaire, right? Met him right there in the bar over a vodka cran. And he told me you need to read like 100 books a year. Because he was like, well, what do you read now? I'm like, Sports Illustrated. Like, I'm trying to see where the draft is at. I'm paying attention to the Raiders. Like, I'm in all of that. I'm in all these photography magazines, whatever. And he was like, you need to read business books. Like, no more Star Wars, no more science fiction.
Yeah.
You need to read real deal business books. And he gave me like a list. And he's like, you got to read 100 books in a year. And I was like, bet. He was like, if you do that, I'll give you my phone number. You call me whenever. I was like, bet. So I cheated. I went to Audible.
Yeah.
And I went straight down the list.
I actually don't think that's cheating, though.
No, me neither.
That's not cheating.
I think it's better because your ear is way better, especially when you're like us.
Yeah.
Your ear is way better at grokking this info.
Yeah.
The cool thing about an ADHD person, I can vocalize when somebody you say, I don't think that's cheating in the book. I'd be like, I don't think that's cheating too. Those vocalizations making it hard.
Yeah.
Right? And so I got through my 52 and I sent it to Bill. I was like, son, I did it. And then he was like, you read them all? I was like, yeah, through Audible books. And he kind of laughed. He goes, oh, I like that service too because I be in a plane all the time.
Yeah.
And he's too old to read with the light. And so I started like picking up tips from him. And so for me, I was going to say library card if you're a real reader. So you don't have to buy everything. Because filling your room up with books, unless you're like Katie and you're a book collector, is a little bit silly. And state libraries go underutilized. They got everything that exists.
So true.
Your state library card also gives you access to Audible books.
Yeah, they do.
So I get Audible books. And then if you happen to get one of them places that let you get it in PDF form, I feed the PDF to ChatGPT and or Notebook LM, and I interview the author.
Oh, that's smart. I never thought about doing that.
I don't know Seth Godin, but I kind of do. Me and Seth have had entire conversations thanks to ChatGPT and Notebook LM. So I'm like, Junebug, today you need to be Seth Godin. Here's the 3 Seth Godin books that I want to reference. Here's websites, here's videos, here's his TED Talks. You build all of that Notebook LM. And then I go, all right, cool, Seth, I'm about to do this new thing for Ecamm, and I need some marketing lines that are going to work based off of these frameworks. And then she'd be like, bap, 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 bap. And I'm like, I wish you had knuckles so I can clink you up.
Bro, that just changed my whole
says mahalo. I have her
my whole mindset.
Look, my Junebug speaks New York Street because that's what my brain does. I was like, imagine my random big words come from, remember our friends used to get out of jail and they read all the books? And I was like, I could just read the books without going to jail. It's so simple. So yeah, it's literally my thing. So if you're in a position where you can buy books, knock yourself out. I do the $14 a month Audible, and then I collect whatever I get from the library. I just check them out. And if they do have PDF or EPUB, slide them into your LM. I even take the manual for the Leica.
Yeah.
I give it the PDFs, and I'm like, okay, teach me the things I need to know to get the white balance, whatever. And it's like, it goes right through. because again, you know when they make the page real small,
Yeah.
I can't read that.
Yeah, or
So-
they're only available online via PDF.
Be a PDF,
Dude,
or
that's
even
so
if it's in a different
smart.
language. Like sometimes I feel like, I don't know, Osbald, I'm not saying you're in trouble, but a brand might put the manual in Chinese or Japanese is way more thorough than the English one. The English one might be truncated because they don't have so much money they can spend. It knows how to read every language in the planet. So I'll be like, here, read this, and what does it say? Then I look at the American page and I find out they're the same, that's cool. If I find that they're different, I might learn some tricks that nobody else learned, because you can just take a picture of it and be like, what'd that say? There you go.
Dude, that's really smart. I like the idea of like ingesting information into it and then interviewing it, and asking it how it would handle your situations based off the knowledge that it already has. That's
Correct.
super, super unique.
That's why when they added in Notebook LM the ability to interrupt it, they'd be like, wait. You guys said this? What does that mean? And then so I got my niece doing that with organic chemistry, and her teacher's like, yo, she's like one of the best organic chem students that we got. And I look at her, I give her the winks, because we're using Notebook LM to make it talk to her the way that she want to know it. Because
Right.
the teacher doesn't teach the way she want to know it.
Right.
And she comes home complaining about the teacher. And I told her, I just want you to know something that I wish my family had told me. When the teacher says, there's 22 people in the class and 20 of y'all fail, y'all didn't get it, that was you. But we couldn't say that back in the day. We caught the paddle. I was in Catholic school when you could get beat. So we would have caught the paddle. But I wanted to tell her, like, it's not your fault. That means the teacher just didn't explain it right, but let me show you how to get it anyway. And she's like, she's the only one that got, the good grades, because we made it teach her the way she want to learn.
That's super smart.
There you go. Man, listen, thank you. I watched pretty much all what you put out. I tease Brandon, like he's like my little brother, but I like to call him Young Unks because he's not ready to be old yet.
I'm not an unk
He's
yet, bro.
that close. He's that close. I
I'm
call him
not
Young
an
Unks, and
unk
it irritates the hell out of him.
I got time.
Anyway, how can anybody who's watching this that don't know how to find you?
I'm at BWash Media everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the places. You can find me there. And you can also check out our live stream podcast we do every single Friday. It's at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. Come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun. The show is called Uncensored, but you can find us on YouTube at Creative Fam Live. Trust me, you're going to want to look up Creative Fam Live. Do not look up Uncensored.
Oh, definitely not.
You won't like
the
what you
videos
see.
that come back.
You won't like what you see.
No.
So
And
look
then
up Creative
it could
Fam
be like,
Live.
why is this in your search history?
You don't want to deal with them problems. So look up Creative
Yeah.
Fam Live and you'll find us.
Yeah, because Uncensored is camera censored, so it's S. But most people's brain is going
Autocorrect's going to screw you up. Look,
autocorrect is going to fix
You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Creative Fam Live. Just look that up. You'll be fine.
So much easier. Thank you, Brands. Listen, man. Listen, people, you know what I say? I have no idea who needed to hear this. But if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, you know what to do. Subscribe to the video, cool. Ring the bell, awesome. But right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video thing you should watch, and we agree with it.
Sure enough.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them